You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother, T3, Ted Keys. You could join us at all social media platforms at Keys to the City. Ted, it's only right. I got to be repping. Got to be repping the Lake Show, the purple and gold, but in this case, the black and gold for the Mamba. Ted, is it 2020 again? For basketball purposes. Only basketball purposes is it 2020 again. We're not hoping to ever go back to that again, ever again, please. Woo. What a wild postseason it's been. I'm just thinking about it. I think I was asking you. I think this might be the first or second time we're actually discussing basketball this year, which is wild because we're avid basketball fans. We know what's going on, but it's just kind of like in the sense of like you just wait. We kind of wait until the postseason to discuss. And this postseason, man, has given us everything. Epic performances, shocking results. I mean, if you look at the Final Four right now, it's the 1 versus 7 seed with the Denver Nuggets taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. And then it's the 2 versus the 8 seed. Two teams that played in the play-in game are playing in the Final Four of the NBA playoffs. And like I said, is it 2020 again? Because if we do remember, this was the Final Four in the bubble in 2020. The only difference was the Lakers had the higher seed, and I think that the Celtics had the higher seed too.
Yes, they did.
Still, yeah. So we are here now, and the Final Four is finally here. Thank you, goodness. The Los Angeles Lakers. Let me just speak before I get into it, Ted. I've seen the past couple of years, my teams, Ohio State Buckeyes, the Duke Blue Devils, the New York Yankees. I mean, the New York Giants got to the playoffs, but I didn't expect anything much of last year, but they surprised me. What I'm trying to say is I just really hope this is not another tease for me because all of my teams get so close, Ted, yet so far from winning a title. And that could be the Lakers adding to that because, like I said, Ohio State, very close. Duke, very close. The New York Yankees, very close. The New York Rangers as well. And they all fail me. They all tease me, bro. I'm really hoping that the Lakers win tonight, go off to a 1-0 start against those Denver Nuggets. So, Ted, when you see these matchups, it's fascinating. You get two teams that are playing that played in the play-in game. You have two teams that have been pretty much the two best teams, maybe with the exception of the Milwaukee Bucks in the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. What do you expect from this series overall? Both series, and honestly, to you, who needs it most? If you really look at all four of these teams, hell, you could go to a player, you could go to a coach, but who do you really think needs this title to, I guess, add to their legacy or build to the legacy? It's Trevor. I'm serious, man. I think it might be the Jinx. That's why, even when I'm talking about, like, when I make bets, like little side bets with my roommates, I always lose. I am a mush. I'm literally Trev Mush. I used to call it Teddy Mush, but Ted don't bet anymore. Ted speaks, but then he doesn't actually go through with the action. He likes to talk a big game, and then he's like, "No, I can't do that. I don't want to bet." Right, Ted? Ted does that all the time with me. I'm the one that's willing to go all in. And guess what? If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win.
Remember, I was telling you. Remember, like about a month ago or two, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers were in the finals. Like if they got hot, something went right. Like things.
I mean, it's fascinating the story how they got here.
I mean, I told you before we did the show, and sometimes our best talk is before the show. But I was saying the Heat situation, they've been riding the Jimmy Butler train. I think if Giannis was fully healthy though and rocking and rolling, I think that series would have been different. But there's no excuses. We're not gonna make excuses. They have their chance.
I think you are trying to make an excuse.
He missed 2 games, which changed the whole series. And let's be honest, it did change the whole series. A guy of his caliber changes the whole series. I get you could be like, oh, Tyler Hero got hurt, whatever. It was the Jimmy Butler show. The game you went to literally changed the entire series. That really was the difference. That went from 2-2 to 3-1. That was game 3.
It was 3. Yeah, that was game 4. That was 3-1. That was the game before they were going back to Milwaukee.
So that was the series.
And they won the
I am a little surprised the Lakers because I thought maybe Golden State, because of their balance and everything else, they would be able to. But Listen, the Lakers have been playing great at home. I think they're undefeated at home. I'm
They
pretty
have not
sure
lost in this postseason.
they have not lost.
No.
So they hold home court advantage. They do the splits at home. They played the series right. They played a Grizzly team. Let's be honest, bro. That team was collapsing before the season playoffs even started.
And they got bigger issues to deal with moving forward too now.
So it's great, and and then the Celtics, we shouldn't be surprised where they're at. This is where we expect them. The only thing is, I think we thought they'd be playing the Bucks.
Well, they were down 3-2 to the Celtics. So at the time, maybe some
So
people
the
thought,
Celtics
were down to the Sixers. So we all thought, and they was going back to
Let's
Philly.
be honest, we didn't have faith in Philly. No one had faith.
I never do because it's just the 76ers.
Well, it was Doc Rivers.
It was Doc
Rivers who blows more 3-2 and 3-1 leads than anyone I could think of in my lifetime. Harden, he's famous for falling apart in the clutch games. He really has. Even though he did win 2 games by himself. He did win 2 games, but wasn't good enough for the rest of the series. And then Embiid, the MVP, really kind of I don't know how hurt
Where'd they
he was.
go? It was like it was more just like where'd
and
they
it's
go?
the Sixers. And let's be honest, the Sixers have been here before, and since the AI year of 2001, they have never been to the conference finals. They have not. So you shouldn't be surprised. And Tatum, who plays his best games, go back to the series last year against Milwaukee. Game 6 has a huge game, 44 points up in Milwaukee. Then they come back home, Game 7, and they take care of business, similar to what they did. So the Celtics is no surprise. Miami, I told you, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by Miami being here in the sense of the type of players they are, the coaching, the organization. They're gritty. They've been here before. They were here last year. I believe, what was it? Last year they were the 1 seed. I believe they were the 1 seed last year. So they've been here before, and they've been here multiple times. And this is a team that they know how to play in the playoff games. To think that they almost didn't win the playing game against the Bulls, that first one.
That's what I'm saying. It's like shocking to know. Yeah.
So now we're here. Listen, we're a couple hours away from Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. We got Jokic, we got LeBron, we got Anthony Davis, and then tomorrow night we'll have Tatum and Butler. Now, I told you I picked the Celtics. I just think the Celtics.
Well, we'll give the predictions at the end.
Well, you said why. I have the Celtics. I had the Celtics and Nuggets win.
My question to you
a lot of that is because of their depth.
I was going to say, we'll give you your explanation at the end. This question was more of in the sense of who needs to win? Who needs to win the title the most?
I told you my gut initial answer when I thought about this was my first thing, and you said always go with your gut. First thing was LeBron. Because the reason why I said LeBron, even though everyone's going to say Jokic could be the first one, and if he wins one, he kind of cements himself as the best center in the league. I think so, as a big man. It kind of backs up his 2 MVPs that no one gave him respect for, kind of like, oh, he's just some white guy who's not really athletic, but he averages a triple-double. But now if he can lead his team to the promised land and go to the finals and win one, especially for the Nuggets who have never won one, that would be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Then you go into I started the conversation with LeBron. I said legacy. If LeBron can win a championship in his 38, at the age of 38, what is he? 20 years in the league, right? Yep. Considering they were in a playing game, considering one time they were a 12 seed, we weren't even sure they were going to make the playoffs. Considering all the dysfunction, the Russell Westbrook trade, everything that's going on during this season, the season that he also surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the highest scorer in NBA history, for him to be able to cement another finals appearance, and then God forbid he wins another one, I think the question has to be not if he is the best player, but he's got to be the best basketball player of all time.
There are going to be people that are still, no matter what LeBron James
does, there'll be people that will always, because there would be nothing. If LeBron wins three more in a row, they would never get LeBron. It's just that's what people are going to. But I think if LeBron can win another championship, you have to really look into the mirror and go, the guy's been to 12 finals. He's going to have 5 championships. He's still doing it at a high level at 38 years old. For his team to be able to win another championship, considering the dysfunction that this team faced, I get it. He's one of the 5 best basketball players. You can put him as the top 3. I think now you just start putting his legacy. He is the guy, bro. Stop making excuses why he's not the guy. Stop. Highest scorer. He's going to be top 10 in every statistical category, games, points, players. You name it, he's going to have every top category. And you think about all these superstars and all the guys we see, he don't have dysfunction with the owners and this and that. He just does his business, takes care of business. So for me, he cements his legacy as the best basketball player, even though I can make the argument for Tatum, a guy to put himself in that realm, because now he starts being like a guy like Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett as a Celtic. That's where you go down as a great Celtic. You know what I mean? In Jimmy Butler's case, man, what's not to love about Jimmy Butler? Hard-nosed, great guy, plays the game the way you want. He's never come over the top. He's made the NBA Finals, lost to the Lakers in that bubble thing that you started the conversation. And like I said when I revamped my earlier conversation, Jokic, right? Solidifies the 2 MVPs, solidifies his legacy as one of the better centers, if not one of the best centers of all time. I think that's where you have to start putting his consideration, because do you want to be in the category of Charles Barkley, AI, or do you want to be in one of those conversations like Steph Curry, LeBron, Kevin Durant? Like, those are the conversations between winning a championship and not winning a championship.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every one of these teams could add, especially players-wise, could just add to legacy. LeBron, there really isn't anything else to say. It's kind of like the whole Brady thing. I mean, like, LeBron, no matter what, he's going to be a top 2, top 3 player of all time. Some people say, well, it will be the greatest of all time. That's fine. That's what he's done, the longevity that he's been able to dominate this league for so long and stay at such a high level and consistent. Jokic as well. If Jokic wins, just adds. To me, I'm going to go with Tatum. I know it's crazy, and you probably say, oh, what a typical answer because I'm a Jason Tatum. That's my guy. Jason Tatum is my favorite player. I'm saying in the standpoint of, because if they don't win, and they went to the finals last year, are they going to be able to keep this whole core intact? Because a lot of reports are saying that these two guys, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, could be looking for more big extensions to the point where each player can almost make about $500 million put together. So when you think about this team has been so close, been to Eastern Conference Finals, went to the NBA Finals last year, and we've always gave them a pass and like, okay, they're still young. They're starting to figure each other out, get in tune with one another. Well, if the Celtics don't win again this year, with the way Tatum is now and the way Jaylen Brown, how those two have elevated their games into elite status in this league, and you might have to get rid of them and you might have to split them apart. It has to be the Celtics. I mean, Jimmy Butler, what else do you have to say? Like you said, Ted, there's nothing really else to say about Jimmy Butler, too. Because
he just needs a finals kind of.
I mean, he went to the finals 3 years ago in 2020, and he was unreal.
He's been unreal in this postseason to maybe solidify his career. Even though he's never had an MVP, he's not going to be an MVP. He's not an MVP.
I mean, he was all NBA this year. He's been an all NBA player over the years. He's been to me, I know this is another talking point. To me, he's one of the most clutchest postseason players of all time.
Talk about the Sixers screwing that up, huh?
I mean, that's unbelievable. Good for
you.
Honestly, I don't care, because all you Philly fans, I laugh at you because I think you have all the talent in the world with all your teams, and somehow you forget, and somehow you come up so short again, and it's just great. It's just laughable to me.
The Sixers traded with the Celtics. Remember, this is the Markelle Fultz, Jason Tatum trade.
Yeah, and then they let Jimmy Butler walk, and then they signed freaking Tobias Harris to a long.
And then they got Ben Simmons the following year.
And they kept they decided to keep Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. So just don't really need to speak anymore about how that has turned out for those teams.
The only reason why you make a good point of that, and I'm not trying to wish-wash and go with it, because any of those 4 guys are up for consideration for the thing. But with Tatum, right, it solidifies that all those trades,
100% agree,
draft picks, everything that the Celtics organization has been telling us.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, bro, they have 1 championship in like 20 years. It's the 2009 championship, if not more, right? So they haven't won a championship since 2009. They've been to multiple finals appearances. They've had this core together for 4 or 5 years. Al Horford's not getting younger. Robert Williams. I mean, they brought in Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, Derek White. They have the best team in the league. Let's be honest. They have the best team. The only question you can make is Joe Mazzulla, the coach. Is he ready for primetime? Can he handle it? Will Spoelstra be able to outcoach him and handle it?
That's the thing. And that's the thing, bro. The Nugget
good enough for him. And the same thing with the Malone coach of the Nuggets. They have the depth. They're the better team. The Nuggets and Celtics should both win this in 6 games.
And that's the thing, that the Celtics and Nuggets have been throughout this entire season, the entirety of the year. We've been talking about, the Nuggets and the Celtics. Are they going to be in the finals? That's where they've been. To some people felt this Laker team and this Heat team were playoff teams. Maybe not conference finals or NBA finals teams, championship material teams. But realistically, those 2 teams shouldn't be there. but they are. So all the pressure, it seems like to me, coming into this Final Four, if you rank them, it's got to be the Celtics 1.
Celtics 1.
Got to be the Nuggets 2. And I get it. People say, well, LeBron and the Lakers should be 2. But why? Realistically, why should they? I mean, they shouldn't even be here. It should be Golden State, right? It should be Memphis or something like that. Or the Kings. Shouldn't be the Lakers.
Yeah. The
Lakers are here. The
Celtics
Heat.
were the
We all know
favorite.
that it should be. We all know that it should be the Celtics and Bucks. It's not.
Yeah. Beginning of the season, majority of the people, I would guarantee, Celtics were, other than the Bucks, were probably the 2 favorites in the East.
Oh, the Bucks were the favorite, and the Celtics were majority of the year were probably the favorite. Maybe with
they were the Celtics were the number 1 seed all season until late when the Bucks passed them.
Yeah.
So, in a way, the way the Celtics kind of faded at the end of the season, because don't forget, the Celtics blew a lot of late leads late in the season. They had some good function.
I agree with this. I agree with this.
Everyone is counting out because it's the
because
Celtics.
they don't have enough, and the Celtics are so deep and stuff.
Well,
hey, guess what?
Is Jimmy Butler's health going to be able to withstand another 7-game series?
That's
the biggest question.
But here's what I would say: they weren't supposed to handle the
Knicks
ball. They weren't. Hold on. They weren't supposed to. What do you mean? The Knicks were
the Knicks were predicted at the beginning of the season not even to make the playoffs.
It's all predictions, though. Who cares? They did. They were one of the teams that people were saying, "Oh my God, the Knicks are going to maybe go to the conference."
Honestly, doesn't have a number 1. They're the worst.
Okay, I get that.
Team in the league.
But were they supposed to beat the Bucks?
No,
in 5 games, let alone.
Let's be honest. If Giannis is healthy, rolling into that thing, they don't win the series. If Giannis is fully healthy, playing all 7 games or whatever games it take, they don't win. Miami doesn't win that series, especially with no hair.
First of all, the game that I went to, he played. He was great in those 2 games. He had a triple-double the game I went to, and he played in Game 5 as well. I don't want to hear this whole, well, if Giannis is healthy. I get it. That's part of the game. That's part of life. If Anthony Davis stays healthy, maybe the Lakers don't lose a game this whole freaking postseason.
That series goes 7, though. That series goes 7, doesn't go 5 if Giannis is healthy fully.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Butler was incredible. He was by far the best player in that entire first round.
Butler's probably been the best playoff guy other than Jokic in this playoffs.
Yeah,
the boring guy though is AD. Let's be honest.
I get it. That
playing like AD, they can win the whole thing. If he's not, the Lakers have no chance. Let's be honest. When AD has those games, they have no chance to win. He's the most important player because his athleticism can match Jokic, his size, his skill. He can be what Jokic is, but he's a more athletic guy. AD's problem is he's inconsistent, and can his body hold up? Let's be honest, it comes down to health right now. That's why.
So if you had to rank the top 5 most important players in this Final Four right now, how would your top 5 be? AD okay, number 1. Okay, number 1 would be AD. Number 2 would be who for you? Jokic?
Jimmy Butler.
Number 3 would be who?
We're talking importance. We're not talking
Okay, number 3.
Tatum.
Number 4.
Then no, I would say Jamal Murray.
I'm glad you brought Jamal Murray up because I think that's going to be the
you got to have a number 2. He's got to be the Jaylen Brown to the Tatum. You got to be the LeBron. LeBron is got to be the number 2 to Anthony Davis at this point in his career.
Does he though?
Jimmy Butler doesn't really have the 2. It's Bam, but he's more of like a 2B, 3A. So let's be honest. But they have, and then number 5 on.
Can the Lakers win this series with LeBron being the best player in this series? Or do they have to have AD?
I would say no, because if LeBron has to be the best player, then that means Anthony Davis didn't show up enough. And that means he's playing way too many minutes.
What if LeBron was just that damn good? What if LeBron was just that damn good?
If LeBron was playing, if that series goes 7, LeBron's only going to give you four LeBron type games. And I mean like old school, like he did in Game 6 against Warriors where he had like 33. I forget what his stat line was, but it was impressive.
What, Game 6?
Yeah, against the Warriors.
Oh, he had 39 and 9.
39 and 9. Okay, so you're going to get maybe 3 games of that. You'll get a 1 game, where you have like 28, maybe 20, and then the other games he's going to be in the middle of the 20s. He's going to give you his work, but it's going to come in segments. It's not going to be consistent. The guy is going to be the conductor of the train is Anthony Davis, and in that sense. And that's why that matchup is the best matchup in the playoffs, because if AD gets schooled like Ayton did and like rest of the playoffs is, they have no chance. He's got to be able to play Jokic and match him bucket for bucket. play for play.
I don't think Jokic has been able to play against a guy like Anthony Davis because
so
I know
I
he's
forgot-
played Gobert. I know he played Gobert in the first round, but Gobert's not a guy like. I know he's a shot blocker and he's a great defensive presence, but AD is just so athletic with the length, with the way that he could stretch the floor, shooting the ball, and his just dominance in the interior. I mean, that's a matchup. Yeah, of course, that's probably the number one matchup. But look, you also got Tatum versus Jimmy. I mean, you get two. Those are two of the best players in this entire tournament right now. So. And I'm glad you brought up Jamal Murray because you got guys like Jamal Murray. Jaylen Brown has to be great as well. I mean, this tournament overall, there's so many great storylines. I know it. And I think this is the great thing about it that, like, yeah, I know you see the four teams. You're like, oh, Celtics and Nuggets, Celtics, Nuggets, Lakers, Heat, just those four teams in there. You're like, I wish it's good I think it's great to see this. I know it's the same teams. You see the names, but realistically, the Lakers, other than that bubble, haven't been to the finals since the Kobe days. The Celtics, I know that they've been right there at the top, but they had that one finals appearance last year.
He made it.
Other than that, it hasn't been since I was in high school. The Heat, I know they've had a couple of years of been consistent, but they haven't been to, like, I know 2020, the finals, other than when they had LeBron. And then the Nuggets, well, hell, they never won a title. So it's good to see. To me, it's just nice to see something, a breath of fresh air, to see something different instead of seeing like the Golden State
and guys
or like just seeing something totally different. I know you see the same players. Oh, Tatum, LeBron, same players over. It's like, but it's great because you get like the new generation players. You get Jokic, you get Jamal Murray, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then you get the guys that are getting older. You get Jimmy, you get AD, you get LeBron. So it's nice to have that sort of blend.
Well, here's the thing. You would also say, like, okay, if you were thinking maybe other than Jimmy Butler, what guys had pressure going into the playoffs? Jokic had to be number one. He had to show up in the playoffs. He had
the entire playoffs coming into this year.
Jokic probably Jokic because he had the back-to-back MVP
or Embiid or something,
and really didn't show up in the playoffs. Jokic the last couple of years, so he's proven his point, but he's got to continue it. All right, number two. I would have said a guy like Tatum got to get back because there was pressure on the Celtics in general. Celtics could not. Listen, anything less than a finals appearance or a championship. First of all, probably a championship.
No, it's got to be a championship.
Was a failure. And then listen, this as a storyline with again Lakers.
Well, don't remember how Tatum. Remember how bad Tatum's was. Tatum was last year in the finals.
He was bad, exactly. So prove a point. And then like the Lakers, they're like the Dallas Cowboys. If you look at it, they're a storyline every day in day out. The questions that we kept going in was, could Anthony Davis carry this team? Could Anthony Davis be the conductor of this team? Is he going to eventually take the reins for LeBron? So far, when they were the best, it's because of Anthony Davis showed out and played like the Anthony Davis they traded for, 3-4 years ago before the bubble, when he was like, oh damn, this dude is like there was a couple years ago before Giannis was like, if you had to start a franchise, who would you start with?
Yeah, people would have been Anthony Davis. Yeah,
was that guy 6'11", 7 foot, athletic, jump, shoot, rebound, pass, could do it all, can guard all positions. So, I mean, and so to be able to get this, and listen, let's be honest, I know what a lot of fans are rooting for. You know what NBA is rooting for. They're rooting for LA, Boston. You know that they're rooting for Boston, LA. Tatum, LeBron in the finals again. Are you kidding me? Ratings are through the roof.
It's just Boston versus LA. Both fighting to be number one in the title.
I think the worst matchup that you would. It's not the worst matchup, but I think the matchup that would be the less ideal would be Denver, Miami. That would be the worst of the possible matchups. That
hell, I hope it is because if the Lakers don't make it and the Heat do, man, Trev's going to try to make an appearance.
Because let's be honest, Boston's the basketball Celtics huge. Lakers huge. Yeah. People in Miami, they don't have the same pull as the Boston Lakers do. And then the Nuggets, who respects who follows the Nuggets. So when you look at it from that perspective, from the TV ratings and from the NBA, ideally we always like, oh, we want Mahomes and Rodgers in the finals. Damn, we got Jimmy G and Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like we never seem to get the matchup that we ideally want. So that's what's going to make the series very interesting. I do agree with speaking of real that for people to just totally discount, it was like 9 analytics at 97.3% that the Heat have no chance to win. You're not giving Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and that crew any any respect because they've been here before. They were here against them last year. I get it. They're not the same team. They've Hero's out, Oladipo's out, but Kyle Lowry's kind of found the fountain of youth. Guys have stepped up for that team. And listen, you saw him firsthand. And Jimmy's the type of guy where, like, honestly, bro, he could pull the Tatum game like Tatum just did. Give me the damn ball, and I'm the best player. And
he did it this postseason. So
50, what did Jimmy have? 51?
56 points.
56. Tatum had 51, and then Curry had 50 against the Kings.
It's been a while. It's been great for postseason overall. Been a great postseason just because of the performances. Like you said, you've had shocking results. Great games, though. Just performances you'll remember. You had to get. I mean, Jason Tatum is in the history books. Most points in a game 7. Guess what? 2 weeks before, Steph Curry had that record. It's broken. Jimmy Butler has the most points, I believe, in Miami Heat history in a playoff game now at 56. And he's in one of the top 3 or 4, I believe, all time in a playoff game. So we've seen epic performances. Jokic has been triple-double nonstop.
He averaged a triple-double during the series.
AD has been a 30 and 20 guy. We've seen him have 20-20 games. I mean, it's been wild. LeBron still with the fountain of youth, 38 years old, but still doing LeBron James things. It's been a wild postseason. For me, I'm going to go through quickly the most important players on each team quickly. If I had to pick one, obviously it's Anthony Davis for the Lakers. And I'm glad you said Denver with Jamal Murray because I think that's without question. Jamal Murray has to be.
So I think Jokic is going to get his.
Jamal Murray has to be playoff bubble Jamal Murray, where he was literally the greatest player in the world at one point.
He's going to have to counteract LeBron as the number 2. And then because, listen, they got Aaron Gordon. They got KCP, who was on that bubble team, Caldwell Pope.
Yeah.
Davis Caldwell Pope was on that team. And then I'm drawing the blank. Michael, help me out. The other kid from Denver, the one that had the back injury from Missouri. He's their number
Michael
3.
Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. So, like, those guys, those are going to be the important pieces. Because here's the thing. The stars withhold, and that's why these teams hold their value. Yeah. It's what guys for the bench can step up. Do you get an Al Horford game where he scores 20 points? Like you said, do you get an Aaron Gordon who shoots wild? Does Austin Reeves from the Lakers, again, become a pivotal player for them again in this series? Because he's really become their number 3, I guess you can say.
I think the most important player for the Celtics, I know people think I'm crazy, is Marcus Smart. Because Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to get theirs. They're going to do their thing. But to me, Marcus Smart has to be that defensive anchor, that leader that they've been. I know he's not a true point guard. I get it. But he's got to take smart shots. He's got to be the anchor of that defense. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's got to be consistent. Jaylen Brown and Tatum are going to get theirs. They're going to do their thing. It's just inevitable. And for the Heat, to me, I think it's going to be Caleb Martin. I think Caleb Martin has been Kyle Lowry's great. It has been great so far. It's been a nice improvement for them. But Caleb Martin from Kansas State, I think he came from Nevada. He had the brother. The brothers that
bro.
I was going to say
the brothers.
I don't know why I said Kansas State.
And lost.
For him, I've watched him. I saw him in person. I've seen him throughout this postseason. That's a guy that the Heat need to keep around for a long time. I think he's a great defensive player, and he's been getting himself. Yeah, Strauss has been nice too, but he has stepped up for the absence of Tyler Harris. So is Strauss. That's why this Heat team is in the position that they are, and it's crazy that that ESPN has the Celtics as a 97% winner in this series. It's wild. So my 4 players to me that will be the most important. It's got to be Caleb Martin for the Heat. I know people say Bam because he's so inconsistent, but I think that's obvious. You got to be Bam and Jimmy. That's got to be obvious. Caleb Martin has got to be kind of like that third type of guy. Kyle Lowry maybe, but Caleb Martin, younger, athletic, could get to the basket, could shoot, create his own shot. Nice defensive player. He's got height, got the length. He's got to do his thing. And then, like I said, for everybody else, I mean, it's inevitable. The Lakers, I think I'm not even going to go Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is the most obvious answer in the world. Quickly, to me, I think it's got to be Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves has got to be a nice number 3 because D'Angelo Russell, you would have thought could have been that number 3 for the time being, but he's been so hot and cold that Austin Reeves gives that boost. He gives the energy. And the crowd loves him. The team loves him. And that, like, just like I said with the Heat, with Caleb Martin, the Lakers need to try to extend Austin Reeves this offseason because he is a player that you want to keep around because of his energy, his toughness, and his confidence, his silent confidence that he plays the game with. And then Jamal Murray, obvious. And Marcus Smart. What do you think of my little four import? I know it's different, but that's just me. Because it's so obvious to say those the same guys over and over. It's like, okay, we get it. Anthony Davis, yeah, no shit, we get that. Like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, yeah, no shit, we know that. It's got to be those guys. What about something outside the box? So, Ted, we've been going on for a half an hour. I think it's time to make our predictions of who are we getting the same as 2020. It was the Lakers against the Heat in 2020, but I will show Ted's predictions and give me a quick. Ted has the Nuggets over the Lakers in 6 and the Celtics over the Heat in 7.
Listen, I probably should give them both in 6 because honestly, both teams should win.
I think that Heat series is going 7. Just my weird, I don't know, just weird thinking, I guess. They have this never say die attitude, the Heat.
Possible.
Nuggets over Lakers in 6. No
what do you got, bro? Talk to me.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me your quick, a little explanation. Why? Well, for me, I got the Lakers.
What a surprise!
Really? You think I'm really going to pick the Nuggets? Really? Like, come on.
Hey,
you want to make a little wagers bet?
What?
There we go.
I'm reading something else.
You're reading something else while we're on this right now. I'm trying to ask you a question. You're reading something else. Really?
Yeah.
Where's the respect? You know what's disgusting? The lack of respect. No respect like towards the Lakers. No respect towards the Heat.
You picked the same. First of all, you picked the same games. You did 6 and 7. That's
how I feel. I got the Lakers, and that Celtics Heat is probably.
I guess you don't want to see a game in Miami.
I'm hoping. No. Look, I just think.
Okay.
So you're tough to pick.
So you're on the NBA trail. You're on the NBA. You want Lakers Celtics.
I just think those are the two better teams right now. I feel like the Lakers are getting hot, and I think the Heat have been an incredible story. Don't get me wrong, been great. Jimmy Butler's been, he's been the best. Ever since they signed him, the day they signed him, I was all in on that signing, and people hated it. And look at what Jimmy Butler has done by himself to that franchise. Led him to the NBA Finals in 2020. Is in the Eastern Conference back-to-back years. He's been everything what they hoped for, and even more. That series is so tough to pick because it could go either way. Just like last year, it went 7. I know the absence of Hero may come in more into this series than the other previous 2, just because of the Celtics' depth. And I got to go with my boy Tatum. I just think Tatum and the Celtics, look, they have to get to the finals. If they don't, they're going to have to start figuring out some serious plans in the offseason. That's all I'm going to say. So I got the Lakers, and I got the Celtics. I got Lakers Celtics. You got Nuggets Celtics. Ugh. Ugly, man. Ugly.
Yeah, no, but I went with the two best teams with the best depth.
Oh, so you went with the obvious.
Yeah.
So let's look at a little wager bet right now.
I don't need to make a wager.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Because I never want to do anything. You could take my money because I'm just like they said. Look, it's in the history books. Where is it? We got to show it.
Yeah, we've seen it.
It's the Trevor Jenks. Every time I try to make a bet or try to make predictions, I usually fail. So this could be your time, dude. Take some money from me if you want.
Oh.
If he wants. I don't know if he wants to.
I'm good.
No, you're not. You're not into it?
No, what do you want me to bet?
So speaking of real, Lakers in 5, Heat in 6. Whoa. Okay. I like it. Talk to me. Tell me why. I need to know why you got the Lakers in 5 games and you got the Heat in 6.
Because he thinks Anthony Davis is going to dominate Jokic. And if you honestly, the Nuggets really haven't been tested. Well, I guess they were.
Yeah, it was 2-2
against the Suns. It was 2-2 against the Suns. But then once Ayton and Chris Paul went out, they had no chance.
Yeah, but they just.
So and then the first round, the Nuggets did what they were supposed to do. But they're the best. They've been the best team in the league all year. They had the best player in the league, probably the MVP. Okay, Jamal Murray's starting to play like Jamal Murray. They have the best depth. They have coaching. I mean, this team has been building for the past 3 seasons to be in this situation. All right.
Well, if they don't win, they better figure it
their
out.
turn to kind of go grab the crown and take it over. Because honestly, the Lakers, as much as they're not really the Kings, they're still the Lakers. No one gives you any respect. I mean, they could be a 12 seed and no one would respect the Nuggets. They'd still take the Lakers because they have AD and LeBron. So, and it's the Nuggets. How do the Lakers handle two playing in the altitude up in Denver?
Hopefully they don't hit the Chiba. Hopefully they're not hitting the Chiba.
I think the speaking in real thinks the Lakers and he found some fountain of youth or something. Or some guys.
I like it. I mean, I ain't gonna go against it.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad, but so he's got pretty much back to the.
So if that would have happened,
we forgot about Bam.
No, we know about Bam, but Bam just goes MIA sometimes, man. He's can be like Anthony Davis. He could be one of the better big men in the game, one game, and then the next game he's gonna be a role player and out of the league. It's just how it is.
Bam has been consistent though. Bam
has been really. He's been playing great this postseason.
He's played like a number 2, even though realistically he's more of a 3. But he's played like a 2. He's had to step up since Hero's been out.
Since Hero went down, it was a huge loss offensively for them.
And Oladipo too, which I think
Oladipo got Oladipo got old, like fast.
Well, multiple injuries, man.
Which sucks because he was great with the Pacers.
Yeah,
I'm excited. The Final Four is here, and it feels good because the Lakers are playing in, again, the Final Four. Ted is all about the Nuggets. He's all part. I think he's been freaking going to the mile high too much.
Listen, it'd be cool. Honestly, it'd be cool to see the Lakers Celtics. I'll be dead honest. Who wouldn't want to see?
I haven't seen it since Kobe. Kobe against the big 3.
I'm also going with something different that we haven't seen. I like to see a newcomer.
So why don't you put the Nuggets against the Heat? Something new.
He'd have championships. They've been there before.
Yeah, but they haven't won a title in a long time.
It doesn't matter. Nuggets have never won a title.
So you want to see something different, but you put the Celtics in there.
We got to put one. If you put the Lakers, and I don't want to see LeBron in another championship.
That's your guy, though. Do you know how hard? Like, I gotta just be honest. I know I'm a Laker fan and I'm a Kobe guy. It's really hard. It's really hard. Like I wish LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, but he is on the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan at heart. I'll always be a Laker fan. But I'm one of those guys that are like, damn, why can't they have like Jason Tatum or somebody on the team that I can root for? Like, I'm not a fan of AD. I can't wait for the Lakers. I hope the Lakers win the title and then trade AD. Call me crazy. I don't really care. And just build with LeBron. We'll see what happens. How's your team doing, Ted? You don't even have a team in basketball, which is a joke. Do you have a team?
Yeah, Magic.
Yeah, he never likes to speak upon it.
We could possibly get 2 first-round picks, top 10 picks this year.
Gonna get the big boy, Victor Mbamwe.
Back to the bubble. So, well,
we got the NBA draft lottery tonight too. So don't forget that's at 8:00. Who's getting the big man? It's gonna be the Spurs, the Pistons, the Rockets.
God, I hope it's not the Spurs.
Can you imagine? Why? Who do you want him to go to?
Rockets.
The Rockets again? They're so bad.
But then think about the young talent they would have.
Put him in the Magic.
That's what I like to see.
Him and Paolo, baby. And then I'm going to Orlando Magic game next year.
Because what is it, Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit, Spurs, and Rockets all have the best odds. And then the Hornets.
Oh God.
And then I think the Magic are next.
No, I don't think so.
I think they're 5 or 6 best odds. So
do they have the thing here?
You don't want to see him in the Spurs. I thought you would have loved to see him on the Spurs.
Hold on. 1 second.
Yep.
No, who the hell wants to see him on the Spurs?
Who wants to see him on the Pistons? So I mean, or the Rockets. Like, no one cares about those teams anymore.
Okay, so it's Detroit, Houston, San Antonio with the same. Then it's Charlotte and Portland. Portland would be cool with Dame.
They're going to trade Damian Lillard.
No, they're not. That would be a nice team with Anthony Simmons and him. And so it's Portland, then the Magic.
Okay.
And Pacers, Washington. And depending on what happens with the things tonight, if Dallas falls outside the top 10, the Knicks get get a first-round pick, one of the top 10 picks. Magic could possibly get 2 top 10 picks.
For what?
If certain things
Their
fall-
own pick and
one
who
was
else?
Their own pick and then someone else's. Let's see. Hold on.
Did they make a
Nah,
trade? Was it the Lakers? No.
No, it was
'Cause
one of the trades.
They traded Mo Bamba to the Lakers.
Yeah, but
That's
there's a trade, so they could possibly get 2.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, they already got a star in Paulo, so
Well, they have Fultz. They have the kid from Gonzaga, point guard Jalen
Jalen Suggs, yeah.
Suggs, and they got a couple big men that are pretty good. So
we'll see what happens tonight with the NBA World and the NBA Draft Lottery, and then the Western Conference Finals start tonight, followed by tomorrow, where the Boston Celtics take on the Miami Heat, and the Yankees are getting accused of cheating. It's a beautiful time.
love it.
Love it. Let's go Lakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Keys to the City. We'll see you next episode. We are out.